Hello and welcome to the Bridge Live. My name is Rahul Kargal. The Hockey India League is back after a 7-year hiatus, and the player auctions are all set to take place from the 13th of October onwards in New Delhi. In this live broadcast, we will bring you everything that you need to know about the Hockey India League. Joining me on this live broadcast is Pritish Raj, a Delhi-based journalist for The Bridge, and he has been reporting for Quarter Live on hockey. Pritish, thank you for joining this live broadcast.
Thank you for having me, Rahul. Thanks.
All right, let's get right to this. The auctions will kickstart on the 13th of October in New Delhi. And in the fray are several Indian and global hockey stars and multiple, current stars and some stars from the not so distant past will go under the hammer. And this makes it extremely interesting, more so because the men's and the women's league will take place in parallel. So, Pritish, why don't we get started by talking about the league itself?
Well, yeah, the league is back after 7 years, and I don't think any hockey enthusiasts in the country won't be excited about it because hockey and leagues have a very interesting relations going way back before something like IPL also started. There was something called Premier Hockey League in 2005, and then came Hockey India League. Then it folded. Then it is back again. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting time given that Indian men's team has done really well at Olympics, and now there is a league with a total of 14 teams.
That's right. So let's begin by talking about the teams, the structures, how the auctions will take place, so on and so forth. So let's get this conversation going by talking first things first about the categories for the auctions. And we're given to understand from the press releases and all the news that has been coming out of the league itself. The players are divided into three base price categories: 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, and 10 lakhs, isn't it? Tell us a bit more about this, Pritish.
Yeah, so basically all the players who are there, they are doing their they are setting their best base price, and the teams will bid on it basis of their purse. So like let's say if a player is saying that my base price is 5 lakhs, 8 lakhs, so he falls in the category of 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs category. And if that person, if a player is saying that my base price is 3 lakhs, so he falls into that 2 to 5 lakhs uh, base price category. So as the graphic itself mentions, so there are all lot of player in the 2 lakh category, then you have the 5 lakh category, then you have the 10 lakh category where you have the stars, international stars, and the Indian stars who play mostly at the elite level.
That's right. And the total purse itself is something that we've got to keep an eye on as the auctions play out. The purse for the men's team is 4 crore, we're given to understand. And for the women's team, it's 2 crore.
Right, yeah. So the men's team will have a 4 crore purse, and they have, I think, quite a huge pool to look at because there are 508 Indian players who have registered and 168 foreign nationals. So that total makes it a total of what, like somewhere around 676 players in the fray for the men's team. 8 men's team taking at 678, 676 players, and for the women's the pool is little lower. So I think there are close to 85 overseas women players, and the rest are like around 270 to 80 Indian players. So that makes a whole somewhere around the ballpark figure of 350 to 400. And that's where the six teams, so the six women's team will have their bait.
That's right. And in addition to players from India, there are players from several other countries as well. Let me just quickly call out some of these countries for the reference of the audience: Argentina, Australia, Belgium, France, England, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Netherlands, New Zealand, Scotland, South Africa, and Spain. So, quite simply, Pritish, this Hockey India League is no flash in the pan. It's the real big deal, isn't it? With all of the leading hockey players from across the globe willing to play.
It gives them a good opportunity to make some money also, and then to play, utilize their off-season time, which they uh, usually don't get much. So it's a good chance for them to come here and and play with the Indians. And for India, obviously, it's a brilliant chance for the Indians to get some really good international level hockey for for 3-4 weeks. So yeah, it's a win-win situation for both parties.
Yes, 488 Indian players we're given to understand will feature in the auctions. So let's now move ahead and talk a little bit about the teams itself now, Pratish. There is a Chennai team, Lucknow, Delhi, Kolkata, Odisha, Hyderabad, Ranchi, and Punjab. Now, these are the teams in the men's Hockey India League. What more can you tell us about this, Pratish?
So very interesting teams though. So there were a lot of like Hyderabad. Nobody had expected to come up because Hyderabad is not traditionally known for hockey. People were expecting more of Mumbai, Bengaluru, but Hyderabad came up, and Chennai, Odisha, Ranchi. These were expected. Delhi, a lot of people were not expecting, but eventually, I think Delhi, being the one of the oldest places of Indian hockey, got the team. So very interesting choices. Some really first time owners, some owners who have some are legacy owners who have a history of investing into sports. So very interesting mix in the men's category.
And as far as the teams in the women's Hockey India League is concerned, there is a Delhi team, one from Kolkata, Odisha, and Haryana. And bear in mind, there are two more women's teams, and we don't quite know who the owners are just yet. And we're pretty close to the auctions, isn't it? Any news on the horizon as far as the complete list of women's teams are concerned, Pratish?
I think one team is going to be Vizag, if I'm not wrong. My sources have told me that there is a Vizag team in the fray. And apart from that Vizag, I think the other team might be Punjab or it might be Ranchi. Not sure about it yet. Can be either of the cities.
Okay, let's also spend a little bit of time talking about the owners themselves. Now, we're given to understand that the Chennai team is owned by the Charles Group. The Yadu Sports establishment owns the Lucknow team. The SG Sports and Entertainment Group owns the Delhi unit. The Strachi Group owns Kolkata, Vedanta, Odisha, Resolute Sports, Hyderabad. Navoyam Sports Ventures owns the Ranchi team, and JSW Sports owns the Punjab team. Now, all of this is in the men's uh, HIL. A few known names there, Pratish, and some of the others are lesser known.
Right. Yeah. So if you look at the owners, I think all the four women's team is bought by the people who already have a men's team. So that's a good thing. And among these owners, if you look at JSW, has a lot of franchise experience. They have Bengaluru FC, they have Delhi Capitals, and couple of teams here and there. Even the team that owns Delhi SG Pipers. So there are a lot of SG Pipers you would see. There are Ahmedabad SG Pipers, Alpine SG Pipers. Similarly, Hyderabad Tufans is owned by a company which already has a franchise called Delhi Tufani Prime Volleyball League. So most of these people know the franchise business. They are here. They know Sachi Sports is an investor in Mohammedan SC, and they have already couple of teams here and there in racing league and all of those things. And then you have the JK Cement is a legacy company anyway. So these owners know their franchisee business, how it works, what does these how do these leagues function. And the best part is that most of them are investors in small sports like the Olympic sports category. If we look at some have spent invested in kabaddi, some have teams in TT, some have teams in chess. So that kind of sports, not just cricket. So it's quite a diversified background of these owners.
And one of the reasons why the previous hockey league, which was franchise based, was paused was because the revenues weren't quite coming in. The business of hockey wasn't quite happening, and that was the reason the previous league, suffered a bit of a setback, and the plug was pulled, as it were. And now, what according to you has changed that the league is now back? One of the factors, undoubtedly, is the fact that the men's team, at least, are winning, not just any Asiatic medal. They are winning Olympic medals, and the popularity is back once again. That is, of course, one factor. What else are you seeing on the ground that prompted the league to make a comeback?
I think this is the best time for league to come back because people are interested. I think I have seen quite a bit of new fans coming up. You know, people who have started following in last 2 3 years. I've seen a lot of them. And the another thing which is there is that when we have to look at this fact also, when HIL was there, the franchisee league was not really a thing apart from IPL. And IPL being the cash cow it is, it was expected that IPL will go ahead and they'll make money for sure because cricket it's cricket. But they were not as per se, so PKL started in 2014. ISL started in 2014. uh, HIL, the previous HIL had started a couple of years before 2012. They had commenced 2013. They started. So at that point of time, it was not like it was a very nascent stage of this bubbling culture of leagues, franchisee owners, all of those things. Now, if you look at today, we have a league in chess, we have a league in tennis, we have a racing league, we have a kabaddi league, we have football league. So it's just volleyball league, handball league. So it's just it's scattered all across the place. And I think now the Indian audience is also sensitized to the league, uh, let's say per se the league thing. People are looking for their local teams. People are going to support their local teams. The loyalties are there. The culture is there. It's at a very early stage, but it is there. So now I think this is the best time because you have to look at the situation. Your men's team is performing at that top level. Okay. And your women's team did really well at Tokyo, but they failed this time. But again, the point being that they are in conversation always. People are tracking the women's team, right? Hey, what are they doing? Why are they performing that? So I think it's all mix of it, and I think the new management here in Hockey India has like promised that there won't be a repeat of 2017 where the teams were not getting any money. Even if Hockey India was making some money, the teams were not getting any share. So I think all of that will change this time. That's what the promise has been. And if they sustain it, I think this league can really do wonders.
That's right, yes. And one of the bonuses of having, sports establishments that are already a part of several other franchise-based entities across sports will also be a plus because A, they understand the business of sports, B, they go ahead and make contributions to the organizational framework of the league itself, and that means that there will be sustained revenues to ensure that the league doesn't just make a comeback for a season and just disappear, but of course it is sustained over a period of time. And we're looking forward to some of those aspects kicking in. And Pratish, we're looking forward to some of your reports on that business of hockey front over the next couple of days as well. Now, having spoken about the owners, let's move on and talk a little bit about the players to watch out for, right? We've spoken about some of the top international countries that are sending players. Let's start with India first. Who, according to you, India in the men's section as well as the women's HIL are the top names that we should be keeping an eye out for?
I mean, you have to look at Harmanpreet Singh because there is going to be a bidding war for him. Just for the reason, couple of reasons. One, his abilities, and second, the absolute fan favorite he is. So whichever team gets Harmanpreet Singh, they're already gonna get a lot of fans because people love Harman. And then when it comes after that, apart from Harmanpreet Singh, if you look at value wise, what a team would be looking into a player, you have Manpreet Singh, you have Hardik Singh. These two are industrious workhorses who are the engines of any hockey team they'll be part of. And then you have to look at goalkeepers. Indian goalkeepers are not in demand. Not in demand as in Indian goalkeepers are not many experienced Indian goalkeepers are in market because PR Srijesh is technical director with Delhi SG Pipers now. So it just leaves us with Krishan Pathak, Suraj Kadkeda, Pawan, and HS Mohit, with Mohit being junior. And there are other hockey goalkeepers, but these are the current Indian, the ones in the Indian setup. These four are there. And given the team composition, there are four foreigners allowed, so you have to have seven Indian players. So I don't think teams will risk going for a uh, only for a foreign goalkeeper. So Indian goalkeepers stakes will be really high. So I'm expecting Pathak and Karkera to fetch quite a high price if you talk about Indians. And in the women's HIL, I think Savita Punia, Salima Tete. These are the two picks I have who will be the biggest pick from the Indian side.
That's right. Yes, and incidentally, there are some names who don't currently feature in the Indian national squad who've thrown their names in the hat for the auction. A couple that stand out are SV Sunil, Rupinder Pal Singh, and a couple of others, isn't it, Pritish?
Yeah. It's very it was a very good feeling when I saw the list and I saw all these names. So we have SV Sunil, we have Valmiki brothers, we have Thimaiya brothers, we have SK Uthappa, we have Gurbad Singh and Rupinder Pal Singh, Dharamveer Singh, people like these, who are not in part of the national setup, but these guys are constantly playing hockey at the departmental level, at the state level. So it's not that these guys are not in shape or anything like that. They have been constantly playing hockey. Rupinder was playing in Australia last year. So I think Rupinder is going to get some really good bids because he's a perfect captaincy material for you. Like, he's a drag flicker, experienced guy, perfect captaincy material for you. Similarly, I think the same goes for people like, people like Devinder Balmiki, and then you have, Nitin Thimaiya, you have SV Sunil. These guys are always good to have in the team given their experience and, the kind of hockey they have played over the years. So I think that the former Indian stars will also get quite a bit of bid is what I'm expecting.
And it's nice to have these names, isn't it? A lot of these names are highly recognized names, and the hardcore followers of Indian hockey will obviously come to the stands to watch some of these names and cheer for them. So I'm glad they threw their names in the hat. Now let's spend a couple of minutes talking about the squad composition itself. I know you did bring that up. Can we have that graphic of the squad composition really quickly up, please? Now, for the benefit of the audience, we want to sort of give you a bit of an insight on the squad composition. Now, remember, each team should have 24 players. All right. Now, this will include 16 Indians and 8 overseas players. Now, the 16 Indians must include a minimum of 4 junior players as well, right? These are players who are under the age of 21 years of age. Now, they seem to have taken a leaf out of the IPL format a little bit, but this is something that I don't mind whatsoever. I think this is a fantastic, composition framework to include the juniors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at so there are a couple. India has a lot of juniors who have already played at the senior level. You have a Rajit Singh Hundal, you have someone like Amir Ali, you have like someone like Gurjot Singh who have already been playing for the national team. So it's a very interesting move, and I am expecting a few junior players to get really high price because they are really good players, and I think it will do a lot of good for them playing alongside those experienced 20 players. It will be really good.
That's right. And you did mention Hundal. Now, he was on fire in the recent
Yeah.
Champions Trophy at Mochi, China. And any other names that you'd want to call out for? There surely will be a bidding war for Hundal, isn't it? What players are we expecting to cause a bidding war on the junior front?
I think Amir Ali will get some eyeballs. Bobby Dhami Singh is there, another junior striker who is really good. Then you have Sudeep Chirmako, Shardanand Tiwari, Shilanand Lakda. So these are the people who will at the junior level, under 21 level, who will get really high bidding wars. Even Mohit HS, the young goalkeeper, will have people going for him.
That's right. Also, we wanted to sort of call out that the league itself will be broadcast live on Doordarshan, right? And the men's auction will begin on the 13th, and it will progress through to the 14th. And this will be followed by the women's auction, which will take place on the 15th of October. And the bridge will be covering this live via a live blog, and you can continue to catch all of these updates as well. Now, as far as the live auction itself is concerned, Pratish, are there any intricacies that you're keeping an eye out for?
I think it's going to be fairly simple. But the interesting bit for me is that how the teams will adjust to their purses. So their purse is like 4 crore and 2 crore, and I think that they'll have to be very smart when while picking players. And I'm pretty sure with most of the teams announcing their staff and their their think tank, so they are already preparing for it. I know personally that a lot of them are already preparing with their strategies and everything. So I think it's going to be very interesting. You can see very experienced players going for less money also because uh, they are probably saving for someone, or when the a lot of times the auction dynamics also works like that. At what time you come in the auction? For example, if you come after Harmanpreet, Hardik, Manpreet, and couple of international stars have come, definitely a lot of money will be splashed there. So that is also another thing which will be there.
That's right. And having watched the IPL auctions
Yeah.
for so many years, this is an interesting one for everybody to keep an eye out for. Now, the Hockey India League 2024-2025 will begin on the 28th of December. There will be an opening ceremony in Rourkela, Odisha, and the matches itself will be played across two venues. One of those will be Ranchi. Ranchi will host one of the leagues, and they will in fact host the women's league. And the Birsa Munda Hockey Stadium in Rourkela will host the men's league. Is that right, Pratish?
Yeah, absolutely. Two locations known for hockey fandom makes sense logistically also because you don't have to spend much. And I think it's a good move to keep it there for at least 2 seasons, so that the charges you incur in a 12 city format or in a 5-6 city format, that you save that time. And plus the thing is that Raurkela and Ranchi guarantee you lot of crowd.
That's right, and it's also interesting that the men's league and the women's league will sort of play out in parallel. We haven't seen this before in the cricket, franchise league before, so this will be interesting. So for that particular period, the expectation is for quite simply everybody to sit back and watch hockey. It's a national hockey festival of sorts.
Yeah, it's not just national, it's actually International Hockey Festival because FIH has granted this exclusively to India. This is exclusive for India. No other hockey action will be here and there. So the leagues in Europe will take a halt, the leagues in Australia will take a halt. It will be at that point, if anything, field hockey, it's HL.
And that's a fantastic point that you made. Essentially, world hockey will come to a standstill. So, Hockey India League can play out, and quite simply, all the eyeballs of world hockey all over will be on the Hockey India League. The women's finals will be held on the 26th of January next year, and the men's final will play out on the 1st of February. All right, and like I mentioned, the bridge will bring you, live updates of the auction itself over the next couple of days. And final, passing statement from you, Pritish. The Hockey India League is back. Everyone's eagerly anticipating the auctions. Uh, any thoughts that you want to leave all our viewers with?
I think I'm personally very excited for this because hockey as a sport has been, quite a bit of like a heartbeat of this nation for a long time before it went into oblivion and then it started coming back again. So I think this is, and the best part about this Hockey India League is that it has made noise. People are talking about it. People are asking every day, where is the? If you go to Hockey India Twitter handle or Instagram handle, people are asking every day, where are you broadcasting it to? Who is the broadcaster? What are the other two teams? So there is definitely a buzz, definitely a interest around it, and I'm expecting that to translate into crowd also. So yeah, so that will is my expectation.
Right, and to answer that question, the auctions will, of course, will be broadcast live on Doordarshan, and we'll bring you live updates as well. And in addition to some of the older players who are back now in the auctions, and we'll see them in the fray. You mentioned PR Srijesh very briefly. There was a question or two that he might come into the auction himself, but he's decided to don a different hat, right?
Yeah. So if you look at so all these the teams have made some all these hirings, the coaches hiring or the technical director, very interesting picks. I think Punjab has got Sardar Singh, Arjun Halappa, two Indian former internationals. PR Sejesh obviously is with the Delhi SG Pipers, and Deepak Thakur, another former Indian player, is with Bengal Tigers. Of very legendary Indian coach Cedric D'Souza, one who won HIL with Delhi Wave Riders back in 2015. He is as technical director with the UP team. And then you have Siddharth Pandey, a very famous broadcaster and but a former player also. Has joined, Hyderabad Tufans as the technical director. So very interesting picks there, and the coaches they are bringing. Graham Reed is back to the country. Colin Batch, the former Australian coach, is back here. And then you have the recent Olympic medal champion with Netherlands, Paul Van As. So all of these guys really interesting, like the legends of world hockey, the best tactical coaches, and not just for players, it's for the all the assistant Indian coaches who are there. It's a very big learning opportunity for them. They get to pick the brain of the best in the business.
Yep, and thanks for bringing that up on the coaching staff front as well, and all of this contributes to the fact that this is a serious league on every front. You've got the top players from across the country. The international calendar is paused, so the HIL can play out, and in addition to top players, you've got the top coaching staff from India and elsewhere coming in as well. So this entire concoction is going to be fascinating to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's a good period of Indian hockey, and knowing that the what last HIL did was the two Olympic medals you saw, because these are the players who came who were earning their kicks at that point. Harmanpreet was a youngster, Sumit was a youngster. All these guys were literally kids, playing with all these legendary players at that point of time, and that eventually resulted into translated into two Olympics medal. And with women's HIL, I think this is going to propel the Indian hockey to a different level when it comes in terms of having really good supply line of players.
Yeah, Paul said and done. Fascinating times for Indian hockey. We've seen what franchise tournaments can do to sports. We've seen that time and time again for cricket. We're seeing that play out now for chess and a few other sports. And now, after a 7-year hiatus, the Hockey India League makes another comeback, and the timing could not have been better. A medal at the Tokyo Olympics, a medal right now in Paris. Hockey is back in the forefront. and so is the Hockey India League. That's all that we have time for. Pritish, thank you very much for joining this live broadcast, and continue to bring us live reports from New Delhi. Thanks for joining, Pritish.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Thank you.
Yes, and that was the Bridge Live, special broadcast in the lead up to the Hockey India League auctions, which is set to pan out over the next 3 days in New Delhi. Remember, the Hockey India League is back after a 7 year hiatus. The league itself will begin on the 28th of December with a grand opening ceremony in Rourkela, Odisha. Keep an eye out for that as well. More importantly, over the next 3 days, the Hockey India auctions live from New Delhi. We will be running a live blog on thebridge.in. Continue to follow that for live updates, and our social media handles, of course, where we will bring you all the top picks from the Hockey India League auctions. My name is Rahul Kargal. Pritish, thank you for joining once again. This was a presentation of the Bridge Live. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.